I'll just be honest. This film is what I think really is the bar when you go to a film festival. Like when you are expecting that film that is just so mind-blowingly good because it brings all the elements together and you say, I know I'm gonna see that during the award season. That's kind of how I felt with this film. And this film I'm talking about is Benediction. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel today for another review. And today we're going to be reviewing the film Benediction, which is being shown this year at Toronto International Film Festival TIFF 2021 under the Special Presentations category. Now, this is a biography of a person I was not familiar with, but what a good story it was. There's so many elements about this film that I'm going to talk about in a second, but what's really interesting about this is that I think when you attend film festivals, you always are expecting to see a full array of films from all over the world, all different level of productions. But then there's always a certain caliber of film that you expect to be like, you know what, that's the film everybody's going to be talking about. And while this film is totally that, it's to the point that I'm almost surprised that they even let this be screened to all of press because there were certain films that were like really high profile that were unavailable. And this is one of those films that I'm like, I'm really surprised I was able to see this because I feel like it just really came together. Very fantastic. When you talk about the elements of making a good film, the story, it's a biography, like I said, the story, cinematography, the level of production, the level of acting, and to execute really without flaw to me. You know, and even though I don't like a really long film, this film is 2 hours and about almost 2 hours and 30 minutes. It did its job. It absolutely kept you in your seat, eyes glued to the screen, wondering what's next. And beyond that, beyond the story, which I get to in a second, I really do love the idea of representation. Absolutely, when you talk about representation, when you have a love interest between two men here, I think, you know, something we don't see often. And I thought that being able to display that in this fashion, really true, is always a good step towards the future. So this is brought to you by the director and writer Terrence Davies, and this is the biography of Siegfried Sassoon. And this guy, military, ex-military, writer, poet, you know, a very interesting conversation who is very interesting group of occupations, which tells an interesting story of a guy who looking for love, want to serve the country, have tremendous loss and grief and tragedy, shall I say, and telling his story. And what's really interesting about this is that you get the younger days of his life and you get the older days of life, and nothing is done in like chronological order. They're basically like memories being thrown at you, which is, you know, could be very, I mean, when you talk about time travel, you talk about timelines and stuff like that, that could be very hard to track. But this one's done so good. Never once did I feel lost in watching this film. Never did I have any clue what was present and what was past and any of that. Done really well. And then because you're having that, because you're having people, because you're having to show a character in two different moments, obviously you got two different actors playing this. So this is where you get Jack Lowden, who plays basically the younger version, and Peter Capaldi, who plays the older version, and the continuity between them is just flawless, very flawless. And Jack, who played in Dunkirk, which was one of my favorite films back in 17, I've always been keen to his career, and I thought, you know, again, when you're pairing somebody who's playing the same character in two different generations or two different ages, you know, it's very important to make sure that that the character still feels like the character, even though different people are playing it. The two of them really work well together. But Jack has just been fantastic, and I've just been really keeping an eye on it. And this is just another display of his versatility in his acting. But this is one of those films that I can't stress enough. I feel like it was flawless clearly not perfect, but this flawless to the point of being able to consume a perfect film. No, I'm throwing out crazy words here. When I say, let me clear some of these things up really quick. I feel like this film had a direction, had a purpose, and it executed. It knew what it wanted to do, and it did so. So when you talk about trying to give you, trying to lay oppression of mood, because this character's going through a lot. When you're able to, really display to the viewers about the character's sorrow, and then when you kind of get them to the point of curiosity or just determination, I feel like everything followed suit together. Cinematography, the production, the acting, it just came together. The score, which is a big catalyst to this as well. And even the moments where it was silent, where there was no score, and it was just really nothing happening. I mean, there was really no words or dialogue or sound, anything happening, not even executed as well too. So like, I feel like, not when I say perfect, like not the perfect, most perfect film or everything. I feel like this film knew what it wanted to do and it executed that. And I feel like it's relayed to the viewers, the watchers, of understanding that this is what it wanted to do. And that is what I mean by saying like they were on the money with this. So this is one of those films that I can't wait to watch again. I can't wait for this to be released. I want to see this on the big screen. This is one of those type of films where somebody who just really appreciates good cinema, this is your film. This is your film. This is, again, the epitome of why people go to film festivals. They want to see films like this where you can say, never heard about this, coming, didn't know who was going to be in it, didn't know about the story that, whatever it's subject to. I loved it. I got to tell other people about it. I can't wait to see it get released. I can't wait to see what the world reception is when it releases. And that's what I feel about with this one. This was that film. This was that film that really brought everything together. And it executed to what its expectations were. And I still can't believe it was just released to all press. They were really protective about some films, and I could have easily seen this being one of them. So, but folks, this has Benediction. Totally check this film out. Keep your eyes out for this one. Jump in the comments once you have a chance to check it out. And then, as always, folks, I'll see you around for more reviews very soon.